Hello, and welcome back to Fellowship of the Binge. I'm Prerna,
And
and
I'm
this is
Rajesh,
Rajesh. Yes, you have to introduce yourself. I,
which is what I did. And then you sort of said, "Ki, oh, this is Rajesh." I
okay,
said
fine,
on
fine.
cue, it was like the perfect introduction, but you kind of messed it up. But anyway, chalo.
Yes, fine. I will keep all this in, okay? Anyway, before the long weekend starts for 15th August, there are, okay, wait. There are two big blockbuster movies in the theaters, but we chose to watch Weapons, which is a new original horror movie, co-produced and directed by Zach Cregger. It's been getting a lot of buzz in the last many months, actually. So we thought that instead of watching War or Kuli, we we will terrify
We
ourselves
had
and
no
watch
intentions of watching War or
watch
Kuli, so
Weapons.
let's
Fine,
let's
fine.
make that clear
Uh,
as well. So yeah, hmm.
hey, I might watch War. Let's see. Um,
OTT, yeah.
yeah, we'll yes,
Amir Khan won't be very happy about it, but yeah, I'm waiting for it to come on OTT. Yeah.
yeah. So we watched Weapons, and we're here to talk a little bit about it because spoiler alert, we loved it. It was fabulous. So we thought we had to sit and make this video so that if you are planning to watch War 2 or Coolie, you can watch Weapons instead.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So, this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And you know why? Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
So let's get into the premise a little bit. Weapons stars Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, Austin Adams, Benedict Wong, Amy Madigan. It's a very intriguing plot, and I will just give a bare bones idea of it in case you haven't seen the trailer, because I believe that you should go into this movie completely blind. It basically begins with the story of one night at 2:17 a.m. 17 children from one classroom mysteriously run away on the same night at the same time.
Yeah, they're not
And
having classes at 2:17 a.m. So the students who go missing, I mean, the common thread is that they go to the same school, they go to the same class,
they're
and they go
kindergarten
missing.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're kindergarten kids who get out of their houses in the middle of the night and run away and are not found, and the consequences of what happens then and what happens to the children is what makes the rest of the film. So what did you think of Weapons? I mean, I know I spoiled it, but still
I
you can
loved it.
talk about
मतलब
it.
वो कहते हैं ना कि मजा आ गया. मतलब oh, it was. See, I have not seen a decent horror flick in a very long time, and
Yeah.
either it is something which
Since
is
Sinners, although
since Sinners, but Sinners also I would.
is not horror.
It's not for me. At least for me, it's not your mainstream horror flick, right? So it's
Yeah,
got
fair enough.
everything in
Yeah.
it. So and the typical the regular go to horror films that have been there over the last 4 5 years, Conjuring, the later Exorcist, The Nun. I mean, honestly I've gotten to a point where डर नहीं लगता है यार उसमें. So, right.
Yeah.
So I can watch it. There'll be like one or two odd jump scares here and there, and then I'm like used to the thing. Of course, I mean that's me, right? I mean I'm sure that there are a lot of people who find all of those movies still scary, and they've
I am.
enjoyed it. Yeah. So, but I think this was one where there are so many jump scares and they're so well done. I had a
Yeah.
ball, and the best part was that we went on a Wednesday night, and
Yeah.
I didn't expect the hall to be as full as it was. And
Yeah.
a very good indicator of a good horror flick or something that keeps you on your at the edge of your seat is when the audience sort of oohs and ahs and screams and laughs together. So
Yeah.
it meant that all the reactions that possibly the filmmakers were looking for were on point. So that
Yeah.
added to the whole thing. Like there is
And it's really,
a
really hard to do. Like, let me
it
just
is, it
stress
is.
how hard it is. So to add to your point, obviously I love this movie and I get scared more often than you do.
Yes,
I almost
I
squeezed
felt
you
it.
hand numb yesterday.
I
But
have never like chalo, you know, people when they get scared they kind of hold on to the person sitting next to them or grab their arm or
yeah,
whatever. I got pinched on my leg. That is new. Like that was I was like arey, matlab, and that actually made me you know, it sort of distracted me for a bit, and I had to look at my left. I said, "What happened?" And then I lost track of what had actually happened on screen. So anyway, but yeah,
yeah.
but it was fun, and
No,
I think
my
yeah, you were
point,
saying.
sorry, my point was that, see, yes, there are fair bit of jump scares in the movie, and but it's also like funny in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. It's genuinely like laugh out loud, and
Yeah.
it's so hard to mash horror and humor together because not like it's such a subjective thing. Not everybody
Yeah.
gets scared at the same place, and not
Yeah.
everybody laughs at the same stuff. But
Hmm.
to meld both of those things so that everybody in a collective, like collective theater feels feels exactly the same thing is a really tricky thing to pull off, and I feel like they did such a fabulous job of it. People laughed at the same place. People were like
Hmm.
screaming at one jump scare and then a second
Hmm.
later laughing, and it's
Yeah.
really hard to do that. I feel like, it's a rare film that gets this done, and I kudos to the writing and the filmmaking. Like, the filmmaking was extraordinary.
Yeah. So let me make it very clear. It's not like a Stree, which is like a horror comedy. It's not meant to be a horror comedy, but there are portions where the director wants to make you laugh because it is absurd. It shouldn't work. It works though.
Yeah.
And it because there is a very fine line where when you're trying to do serious horror and you are risking it if you're sort of trying to do comedy with it at the same time, so it can end up looking extremely stupid or unnecessary. But I
Yeah.
think the one great thing about this movie was that everything that you see or feel or experience, any kind of emotion, whether it is being scared, it being funny, or the difficult nature of certain conversations or interactions, it hits the right notes and you will be able to relate to it. I had an absolute ball, and I would highly recommend that if this weekend you have plans to either watch War 2 or Kuli, give it a skip, watch Weapons. And
Yeah.
this is true for even, people who find horror movies difficult to watch. It's a very different kind of horror movie. And I think one of the highlights for me during the movie was the person sitting next to me, because we had these lounge type seats which kind of recline. And there's this jump scare at the end, which is one of the best scenes. Which is among the jump scares, I think it's one of the scarier ones, and it came at a very unexpected moment. And the person just, because he was sort of in that reclined state, he jumped and he slid through his seat and fell down. And the girl who was next to him, I mean, she screamed because of what was happening on the screen, but
Yeah.
laughing at the same time with what had happened next to it. And I think, and I was also distracted because I was looking at that and laughing. And that's how bizarre like the sound of it, like when I tell you that the entire movie is like that, you will feel that this might not be something that good, but it is.
I think one of the reasons that the movie works is the unique structure of it.
Yeah.
I felt like I was reading a Stephen King book. It has Stephen King's tonality. Like, I could see this and Derry and, like, in it kind of
Yeah.
being a marriage of sorts.
Yeah.
Like, they are
And
similar a little bit in
yeah,
tone, and
in tone it
um
is, and I think what adds to it is the chapter wise breakdown of different characters'
yeah.
point of view.
Yeah.
So
So to give
every
context,
character
like,
sort of.
each
Hmm.
to give context, you follow these different characters going through the same thing, and then all of these characters kind of intermingle and they connect with each other in their lives. It's told like a book, and I think they also didn't lose sight of any of the characters. The characters each had their own lives. There's a kindergarten teacher who is, this is not a spoiler because it's in the trailer if you choose to watch it. But Julia Garner plays a kindergarten teacher who is accused by the town of doing something wrong
Like
because
she's missing.
her students are the ones who go missing. So people are like, I'm sure it was your fault. So what happens in her life and how this affects her, but also the creepy element of like what happened to those children and what is haunting her.
I think the plus points of the entire thing, it's a very strong and unique script. It's different from anything that you've seen before. It keeps you hooked and engaged. The whole town setting, the characters, the format of the movie shot in different POV chapter formats. It's quite engaging, quite unique, and I
Yeah,
think
that's a
I won't say unique.
hilarious
It's been
climax.
so it's been done before, but
Brilliant.
I think this kind of nails it. And of course, the
Yeah,
climax is just
so funny.
scary, hilarious. I
So
mean,
funny, so sad,
fun. You
so
can,
many emotions
yeah,
felt
yeah,
during that
and
climax. It's
100%.
terrifying and then funny and then again terrifying and then a bit sad but also happy. It's a lot. But you'll feel all your emotions. Maybe gird your loins a little bit for the jump scares, but it's a
And
great watch. Going
I think we
Yeah.
are in August, and we still have about 4 months to go, and then there are quite a few movies that are down the line as well in the next 2 months, which I'm looking forward to. But I think by the end of the year, when we do like the best movies that I've seen, I think Weapons will
Yeah.
feature on that list for me.
Easily. Yeah. It'll be top 5 easily because it's such a unique film. And a little spoilery. If you want to come back to this section later, you can come back and you can bow out right now. But essentially, one of the things that I read in an interview where Zach Cregger was saying that he wrote this while he was grieving for a friend. And that puts a little bit of a different spin on the end, which is a bit sad. And also, there's also people asked him whether the movie is about gun violence, because there is that gun over Josh Brolin's house in his dream, and it's also a little bit about when there's one kid and then all the children disappear and the teacher is then accused of doing
Vilified,
something.
yeah.
Obviously, it's interesting that Zach Cregger has said that it's open to interpretation. But do you think that sort of landed for you?
I think it doesn't matter because see, I went in blank. I'd seen the trailer, so I knew the
Yeah.
premise of the movie. A lot of what I know now, I mean, I read on or sort of saw after watching the movie. It was more anthropological for me. That okay, interesting that he thought this way or he had this in
Yeah.
mind while writing the script, because at the end of the day, like I said, when you see the movie, if I have to, like, still won't be able to relate the two. Oh, this is what he thought when he did this, because the thought and the execution of what you see are two very different things. And I'm not saying this in a bad way.
Yeah.
So
No.
it's just for me it was just more
A good time.
interesting trivia
Yeah.
to sort of know, and of course like a
Yeah.
good time with the movie. And I can't
Yeah.
again stress
It's
it
also one of those
enough
movies I
how
feel,
good it
and
is.
this is a very general thought for me, but sometimes there are movies that once you watch them, you kind of want to know more about how they're made, like what
Yeah.
was the thought process behind it, because it's such a unique, incredible concept. I felt this way when I watched Sinners last. I just wanted to get into the music of it. I wanted to know what was being thought about when they were writing the script, and I feel this way about this movie. There's some movies
Yeah.
that just make you want to go
Yeah.
deeper into the filmmaking or the world.
Yeah. So when you say that, I think the one question that someone may have or may not have about the movie is there's a bit of witchcraft involved, right? And
Quite
it doesn't sort of go into explaining what it is. So it's
Yeah.
right there in front of you. So it's open for your understanding and interpretation. At least they
Exactly.
think that you're smart enough to know or
Yeah.
piece it together what it is or what has happened. So we won't go into the backstory of
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
I can see how with a certain group of people that also might be a challenge where they would have wanted that to happen, where somebody explains it.
Sure.
But I think it sets
Yeah.
up for maybe like a sequel or a prequel for the same thing. And second, that
Yeah.
if they had done it, I think the runtime would have been more. And I think at its current runtime with I think it's perfect.
Yeah, and not just the runtime. I also feel like it'll feel like they're spoon feeding you after a point, and
Yeah.
then I like that it just assumes intelligence in the
Hmm.
audience, and it just says that, okay, you are smart enough to figure this out, and it doesn't spoon
Hmm.
feed you. And that's good enough for me. Till the time the world is very sure about its own rules, I'm happy. Like, everybody follows the rules of the world,
Yeah.
of what is happening, and I'm fine with that. Like, I don't
Yeah.
need to know what is going on, because not too many people know what's going on. That's the whole point of the movie. So yeah, I mean, I think we'll close it here, but this is a must watch, and it's a must watch on a big screen. If you can watch it on a big screen, do give it a shot. And yeah, like and subscribe to our channel for more
And
such
share.
reviews. We will. So tell us what you thought about weapons, if you've seen it, or whether you think it'll be too scary. We'll give you some perspective. I'm a scaredy cat, and I was okay. But have
See,
somebody whose
it's
hand you
like
can
this.
hold.
It has a truck ton of jump scares. All of them are a good jump scares. Yes, they are scary, but on the horror scale, it is one of
Yeah.
those. It's at that point कि देखो अगर ये नहीं देख सकते तो फिर शायद horror देख ही नहीं सकते. So I think
Yeah, easily.
so yeah. So
I've seen
you
scarier. I think like something like It is scarier. I think because Pennywise is such a scary villain, but I think it might be my fear of clowns. But
possibly that because
yeah,
I thought this had more
you
jump
don't think
scares.
Pennywise is scary? Okay, fine. Fine. You tell us whether you think Pennywise is scary, or if you've seen Weapons, if you thought it was scarier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time. Bye.